Pharmacy, organized by Sympathy Institute of Homeopathy Pharmacy and Hospital in association with Delhi Homeopathy Medical Association. I, Dr. Himani Sharma, wholeheartedly welcome you all for the today's session. Some words on Sympathy Institute. The Society for Indian Medicine and Promoting Ayurvedic Treatment, Homeopathy and Yoga is known as Sympathy. It is a Delhi-based social organization or incorporated with Government of Delhi since 2009. The organization is mainly working in the health sector. It is committed in promoting Ayush system of medicine, mainly the homeopathy system of medicine, and providing its services to the needy people requiring medical help. Some major programs and activities of the society inter alia includes free consultation services and medicines to the poor and the needy people through its 9 homeopathy charitable dispensaries located at the different areas in New Delhi. A dedicated Sympathy Institute of Homeopathy Pharmacy, established in 2012, is affiliated with the National Institute of Open Schooling, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, is recognized by the Government of NCT of Delhi and affiliated with the Board of Homeopathy System of Medicines, Government of NCT of Delhi. It is also conducting specific foundation, certificate, diploma courses in homeopathy. A charitable Sympathy Eye Care Center is established in 2013, providing eye patients to the neediest poor people. As many as 60 poor patients of cataract were got operated and treated free of cost at the expense of Sympathy from 2013 to 2016. The society is making efforts to generate the funds so that this initiative could further be carried in the future. A half marathon mega event that is run for homeopathy is organized every year in New Delhi with an initiative to connect the people with the health and homeopathy. Health awareness campaign, Swasth Bharat ki 3 Aayam Jan Aushadhi Poshan or Ayushman is also done by this organization. Now we have with us Dr. Shweta Singh of Delhi Homeopathy Medical Associations, and I request ma'am to say a few words about DHMA.
Thank you, Dr. Himani, and a very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Shweta Singh, Vice President of DHMA, would like to take the opportunity to introduce Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association to all of you. This association is the oldest and mother association of homeopathy in Delhi, working for the betterment and upliftment of homeopathy since 1932. It was founded by Padam Bhushan awardee late Dr. Yudhvir Singh, who is a great freedom fighter, social worker, pioneer homeopath of India, and who is the first president of Board of Homeopathic System of Medicine, Delhi. The aim and mission of our organization is to create awareness about homeopathy amongst the general public and imparting knowledge among the keen learners of homeopathy. And to fulfill this aim, we have been conducting regular monthly CMEs, health camps, and various other activities. For any other query or information, you can visit our website www.dhma.in, or you can contact us at 9711153617 or email us at dhmadelhi@gmail.com. So this is all about DHMA, and over to you, Dr. Himani.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a lovely introduction about the DHMA, and we welcome you, ma'am, for the today's session. Now, I would like to invite our speaker for the today's session on latest research in homeopathy, Dr. Bineet Kumar Dwivedi, who is a research senior scientist from Central Research Center, Noida. It's really my privilege to have sir on this webinar series. He is a PhD in Natural Product Chemistry, Phytochemistry from Vikram University, Ujjain, MP. He is also an MPhil from Ujjain, MP, India in the year 2008. He has also done the MSc in Organic Chemistry from CSJM University, Kanpur, UP, India. He has done postgraduate diploma in intellectual property rights from Indira Gandhi National Open University. He has also done postgraduate diploma in computer application from Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune. He has also done postgraduate diploma in chemical analysis and quality management from Hyderabad Central University, Hyderabad. About the research experiences, sir has wide experience in the MS Dabur India Limited. Presently, he is at Dr. R.P. Rastogi Central Research Institute for Homeopathy. He has also done various works on pharmacopoeia and looking after the drug standardization and monograms preparation works since 2010. He has contributed in the Homeopathy Pharmacopoeia of India, Volume 10, Volume 11, and also revision and upgradation of contributed in the Homeopathy Pharmacopoeia, Volume 1 to 10. Apart from this, he has also done various awards and he got various awards and distinctions. He has received the Dr. P.T. Sethi's Appreciation Awards in the field of pharma, herbal, and miscellaneous analysis to research papers in the year 2009. He has also received Dr. P.T. Sethi National Memorial Award 2017 for the second best research articles. He has also received the first prize during the oral presentation session in the International E-Conference on Empowering the Healthcare and Pharma Educations in the 4R Technologies on June 27, 2020. He has done various research projects in hand under any other grant in aid scheme of Government of India. He had undergone various trainings, 12D trainings in the national schools on a new dimension to NMR from molecules to human behavior at Northeastern Hill University, Shillong. He has also been associated with the professional bodies like member of purchase committees of DDPR CRIH Noida, member of expert committee of Pharmacopoeia Commission for Homeopathy, Journal of Essential Oil-Bearing Plants Reviewer, peer reviewer of SDI journals, life membership of National Magnetic Resonance Societies, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, life member of the Indian Society of Analytical Scientists, Delhi chapter, member of IUS United States Pharmacopoeia Collaboration Board. He has done various research specializations. He has also visited many foreign countries on various subjects. He had also published various research papers and books. So it's my great privilege, sir, to have you on here for today's session, and words are not enough to describe your distinctions in your field. So I hope everyone is looking forward for the today's sessions. So I request everyone to listen patiently and post your queries in the chat box, and all the queries will be discussed at the end of the sessions. Now, without taking much time, I invite you, sir, for the today's session. Welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Himani, for your kind words. Without a wastage of time, I will start our topic, which is provided by you. So today's topic is latest research in homeopathic pharmaceutics. So we all know that homeopathy pharmacy is the branch of homeopathy medicine developed by Hahnemann himself. So the homeopathic, what is homeopathic pharmaceutics? Because without knowing what is homeopathic pharmaceutics, we cannot explain the research in homeopathic pharmaceutics. So it is the science of preparing of homeopathic medicines. You also know that homeopathic medicines prepared from plant, chemical, and animal sources according to rules and regulations described in various pharmacopoeia of various countries. Like in India, we follow HPI. Like in US, we follow HQS. Like in Germany, we follow GHP, and so on. So next, I will explain you all parts of medicinal plants are useful in homeopathic medicine system of medicines. I will place example like whole plant, stem, roots, leaves, bark, fruits. Not any wastage of any plant part, because medicinal plants is very less in quantity, and you know, mostly allopathic drugs are very having some side effects. So most of people are going to the herbal origin. Especially demands of herbal medicine, especially in homeopathy, are increasing day by day. So we have to escape all plant which are used in medicine system of homeopathy. So I will describe you the medicine which are prepared from whole plant like Ecalpa indica, Andrographis paniculata, Arnica montana, Trulus terrestris, and Palpa. It is prepared from whole plant. So we have to take whole plant including roots for the preparation of homeopathic medicines. And like stem like Saccharum officinalis and Sabina was prepared by the stem of plant. And further we are going to roots. Bryonia alba and Rauwolfia serpentina medicine are prepared from roots because the active constituent present in the roots. If we prepare the medicine from other part, we could not find any pharmacological activity because active compound present in those parts especially there. And from by leaf there are Abroma agasta, Cannabis indica, and Distill perfuria. These medicines are prepared from leaf because active compound, marker compound is present in leaf from where we have to prepare medicine and we got extractive value in their active compound are present. Slightly we go to seeds like Naxibum, Coffea cruda, and Avena sativa are prepared by seeds because active compound present in seeds. Same manner, bark, Azadirachta indica, Cinchona officinalis, and Saraka indica prepared by barks. And same fruits, capsicum, Citrus colantris, and Termina tabula, and Caticus oxygenta, which is used in the heart disease, was used by fruits. And now we are going to medicine prepared by chemical origin. In chemicals, there are so many variety of chemicals like metals, non-metal, metalloid, minerals, acids, salts, compounds. So I will explain you one by one. Like metals, the prepared medicine like aluminum, copper, and ferrous are prepared by metals. Because nowadays metals research is going in IIT Bombay and other places. Because metals, IIT Mumbai got active compounds in 200 C in metals. Because metal are detectable in that level also. So now mostly focus of research is going into metals. So this is the matter of research concern. Like non-metal, there's chlorine, bromine, iodine, phosphorus, and sulfur. Metalloid, there's and arsenic, sulfur, and other things also. Like minerals, graphite, Hekla lava, this is prepared from minerals. Acids like nitric acid, H2SO4, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, acetic acid, and formic acid. Some medicines are prepared by salts like Brighta carbonica, Brightica asiatica, and Brightica carbonica. Like calcium, calcarea, arsenica, calcarea carbonica, and calcarea phosphate. And from whole animals, the medicine are prepared by animals. I will explain whole animals, whole dry animals, and snake venoms. The medicine prepared by animal origin by whole animals, that is Apis mellifica, Culeus musca, etc. Whole dried animals, Plata orientalis, Focus cacti, and German viper like Naja atopendus, and so on. And now, before I describe the research in homeopathic pharmaceutics, we have to know pharmacopoeia, because pharmacopoeia is the main role which can provide you standards from where you can guide what is the part, what is the method of collection, what is the season, collection, harvesting, all information we got from pharmacopoeia. So we have to know what is the pharmacopoeia. Basically, pharmacopoeia derived from the Greek word, this is pharmakonon, meaning drug, and poes meaning literally meaning make. So pharmacopoeia means drug making. Drug making is called pharmacopoeia. So it is the supreme authoritative books published by government authority of any country that deals with the rules and regulations of standardization of drug substances. Without reading, without knowing the pharmacopoeia, we cannot standardize the drugs. So we have to read and follow the pharmacopoeia. What is the process of pharmacopoeia described in there? So their rules are described for standardization of drugs. It also contains directions of collection of dry materials, substance from different sources, their preparation, preservation, and standards determine the strength and purity of homeopathic drugs. Now, what is the need of standardization? How is standardization necessary for homeopathy? Because you know, without standards, if any physician prescribe the drug of substandards, we cannot get therapeutic value. Sometimes patient, so that drug is correct, but why not I am taking care of that problem? So sometimes drug is not so good, means drug is substandards. So for that purpose, the standardization is necessary for homeopathic drugs. So, and the qualified physician must be provided a standard, means genuine medicine for unpaired strength, so that he may rely upon therapeutic power of prescribed drugs. For this purpose, standardization arises. You know that acceptability of any drug material is always described by prescribing standards. It is a numerical value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is numerical value which quantify a parameter like pH, LOD, restrictive value, S value, acid insoluble as, water soluble as, water soluble restrictivity are all numerical value which quantify the parameters. So means in a nutshell we can we can tell to develop the standards for drug is called drug standardization. In the high
Sorry,
drug standardization needed.
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Your sound is very low, sir.
Okay.
Please.
Standardization essential to ensure safety, purity, and efficacy of homeopathic drugs. In this connection, 17 February 2010, WHO published a book that is safety issue in preparation of homeopathic medicine. It can available easily in the online. You can download it and use in the preparation of homeopathic medicines. It is also necessary to prepare batch to batch accuracy. If you want same result in the second batch, suppose we prepare a medicine, we got different result from one batch and different result of second batch. That's sure that there is no standard process applied on that manufacturing of that drug. So it is necessary to follow the standard protocol for preparation of homeopathic medicines to get batch to batch accuracy. What types of homeopathic pharmacopoeia are various states? I will explain like 7 homeopathic pharmacopoeia are used in the preparation of homeopathic medicines. Like homeopathic pharmacopoeia of India, we well know, it's called HPI. Homeopathic pharmacopoeia of United States, homeopathic pharmacopoeia of Germany, French homeopathic pharmacopoeia, British homeopathic pharmacopoeia, Brazil homeopathic pharmacopoeia, and European pharmacopoeia. If you want what drugs available in what pharmacopoeia, you can refer the my book, that is the Ready Reckoner of Medicine used in homeopathic pharmacopoeia. So this book is useful because all 7 homeopathic pharmacopoeia are covered in one book. You can open the book and find out which monograph, which drug is available in HPI, which drug is available in GHP, which drug is available in HPS, which drug is available in BHP, so that you can save your time and do research on the valuable time for that. Homeopathic pharmacopoeia, up to now 10 homeopathic pharmacopoeia are published. Volume 1 was published in 1971, which consists of 180 monographs, and volume 2 was published in 1974, which consists of 100 monographs, and volume 3 was in 1978, consists of 105 monographs, 184 consists of 107 monographs, in 1987 5 consists of 114 monograph, 5, 6, 90, and 90, 105, 104, and 6, 7, 19, 19 to 105 monographs, and from volume 10, 2013. Now we are working for volume 11. Up to volume 10, we have published 1117 drugs for the homeopathic, for the preparation of homeopathic drugs in the form of monograph in Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India. So far, volume 11 work is going on. In what I do in our lab, now we all know that all the homeopathic pharmacopoeia are prepared in very old times. At that time, infrastructure and persons are not so skilled, and not analytical methods are so very crude. Now, sophisticated instruments are available like HPLC, HPTLC, HPLC, MS. So government think why we not revise the monograph of volume up to 10. So for that work we have allotted, and we are doing the work in the revision of homeopathic pharmacopoeia volume 1 to 10. We can perform the experiment in our lab where we have get advanced version. We can provide that and change the value. And some the Pharmacopoeia Commission of Indian Medicine and Homeopathy provides new protocol, because Pharmacopoeia Commission wants to one monograph for all system of medicine like homeopathic, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, because all medicines are prepared from medicine plants. So they want one format for all. For that purpose, we are incorporating Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia Commission's format and revising the homeopathic pharmacopoeia from volume 1 to 10. That work is going on in our lab, and we have to also allot one other work, that is the preparation of monograph from Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia volume 11, because 2013 volume 10 was published. Up to now, no any volume was come. So we are working so hard for the publishing of volume 11. And other work is allotted to us that chemical profiling of exotic plants. We all know that the homeopathic medicine plants are mostly exotic in nature. So what we are doing, we are collecting exotic plants and developed in Indian environment, and we are checking what is the active compound present in that environment. Like we can Ravalpe serpentina, if we grow in Germany, what is the active compound result is there, and what is the active compound in Uti where we grow in the Ravalpe serpentina, because it is endangered plant and day by day this is decreasing. So this research work is going on. If we got same bioactive compound in Uti environment, then we can cultivate the plants and prepare the medicines. We also adopted HPS harmonization work. We all know that some monographs are available in HPI and some monographs are available in homeopathic pharmacology United States. To save the time and some work they have to done, some work I have to done. To wastage of time, we can harmonize the monograph, which drugs are in the same monograph are available in HPS, same monogram is available in India. Suppose they have some additional information, or I have some additional information, then we have to incorporate and make one. So this is a very interesting work is going on in our lab, and we are doing for that. And another research work is going on our lab. That's the estimation of phytochemical content, HPTLC analysis, and FTI analysis, and evolution of antioxidant potential. Drug adapted is Coffea cruda, Thuja occidentalis, Pyrus malus, and Hylastis canadensis, and Thiachinensis, mother tincture, and their dilution. So one by one, I will explain. Like HPI review work, we have to develop 60 monograph of plants and chemical origin. What we do, we can take printout of old homeopathic pharmacopoeia of India and new format of homeopathic pharmacopoeia of Indian medicine and homeopathy, and we can add on the parameters. We can perform the experiment and add the value in that monographs. So up to now we have 60 monographs developed as per PCIMH and format, because they have to add so many new parameters, because that time in HPI volume 1 very few parameters are there and some spelling mistakes, some technical mistakes are there. We have to rectify one by one. Up to now we have 60 monographs we have to revise and submit it for the updation of the same. And our other work is the HPI volume 11. For HPI 11, the work has been distributed in 3 places, because volume of work is so high. One work is going on HPL, one work is going on CRI Noida, and one is Hyderabad, DSU Hyderabad, so that we can save the time. And they have to develop their drugs, I have to develop my drugs, and at last we have to combine this so that we can save the time. So for volume 11, we have developed 11 monograph, that is from plants and chemical drugs, for the comparison of HPI volume 11. The publication of HPI volume 11 is under progress. Maybe till the last year we can get the copy of HPI volume 11 in the 2021. This is a very interesting one. We have collected 7 exotic plants from Uti and quantify the active compound in their plant. Plants are collected from Uti, and some plants are collected from the exotic origin from different countries. We have collect and quantify the active compound in both of plants and submit the result, because when we are knowing we are facing a lot of problems in collecting exotic plants, because plants are endangered and other country plants it's very tough to collect from there, and we have sent so many requests to provide the exotic plant from other countries, but they are not ready to provide us. So for this purpose, we have to cultivate that plants in Uti, and we have collected from Uti for the development of the standards for exotic plants. For that purpose, we have to perform HPLC analysis. For that, we have checked the standards is available or not. We have purchased standards from the market like Sigma and other companies and matched the standards in our sample for quantification purpose. So for this, we have to complete 7 exotic plants standards in our lab. And this is the next work is the HPS collaboration work. What we do, we and Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of United States persons, we are open to each other. I have shared my pharmacopoeia, Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India to their, they have sent to their pharmacopoeia to us, and we have to work hard and set 50 plants and chemicals and some other plants and match the theme. And we have found that 50 plants in both pharmacopoeia are same, but in some parameter in Indian pharmacopoeia have added information in some parameters in HPS pharmacopoeia, United States of Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia, they have some extra work. So then we discuss why we not share the both things and joint, we can publish one monograph, one pharmacopoeia, this is the called joint HPS HPI pharmacopoeia, in which 50 monographs are common. So that work is also going on. The other research work is going on. This is the very interesting work for the estimation of phytochemical content and HPLC analysis of Coffea cruda, Pyrus mellus, Hydrastis candensis, Thea candensis, and Thula oxidans in the literature. The reason of taking this plant is all plants are anti-cancer. So we all know that the cancer properties are due to the reactive oxygen species found in their plants. So what we do, we have to detect what level of antioxidant potential that plants are having. For that purpose, we are testing in our lab. We are performing experiment like phenolic acid, bifolin glycol reagent, and determination of DTPH assay, determination of total flavonoid content, determination of AVTS assay, and determination of FAR assay for the quantification of the active compound and for the antioxidant potential. Because this plant, if these plants have so antioxidant potential, then there is a chance they also say the anti-cancer activity in the human. Because this is the in vitro studies. If we get good result in vitro result, then we go for in vivo. Because we have found good result in the same in the plants, then we also get good result in Thuja occidentalis. We found most best result in Thuja occidentalis in comparison of 5 plants. For that purpose, we have collaborated some other institute that is called National Cancer Institute to perform in vivo study, because I perform in vitro in our lab. So for there we have collaborated them for further study. So the research outside of institute we are performing, that is the molecular evolution of anti-cancer antiviral properties of Thuja occidentalis, because we got good result in our lab in vitro. So we take an idea why we not discuss that scientist. He will agree and submitted the project to Ayush 50 lakhs. They got 50 lakhs from our Ministry of Ayush to perform this study in vivo, and he also found good result in the Thuja occidentalis 5Y in cancer cells. So other work is also from collaboration with IIT Mumbai. And the process for potentization of homeopathic medicine in collaboration with IIT Mumbai and Wilmer Sorbet, because Wilmer Sorbet has infrastructure and IIT Mumbai has some instrumentation facility like TAM and SAM and some ICP MS. So we CCRH and IIT Mumbai and Wilmer Sorbet, we 3 jointly make a meeting and doing some research work. The research work is patented process, so we cannot explain because the patent have already been filed. So other work is also submitted in collaboration with IIT IIM Jammu. That is called Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, CSIR Institute Jammu, where we have submitted the self-life study of homeopathic medicine, because we have read that there is a standard forward 5 years expiry period, but it not be possible because all plants have different nature. So we had got some idea, why not we perform the stability studies of homeopathic medicine. For that purpose, we have selected 5 plants, that is Calendula, Syzygium, and Jambulin, Ravalpia, Serpentina, Berberis equipellum, and Curcuma longa, and submitted the project to IIT, Triple IM Jammu for their collaboration. This work is also in pipeline, and when we got result, then I will definitely share to you. And now I will explain the research work which has already been performed by IIT Mumbai. This is the, that is the extreme homeopathic dilution starting material, a nanoparticle property. I have said you earlier that now all research institute wants to do in research in homeopathy, because in 2010 IIT published a good research paper in journal Homeopathy, where they claim that they found some nanoparticle in 200 potencies. Another paper they have published in 2012 in Languer publication, 5 steam dilution reach non-zero incipient in nanoparticle hypothesis based on 4 kilosis. And another published they have published, that is establishing the interfacial nanostructure and elemental composition of homeopathic medicine based on inorganic salt, a scientific approach. The paper is also published in Homeopathic Journal 2015. Another paper, this is the Hormesis principle. We know that Hormesis principle is that when we dilute any chemical or any drug, then bioactivity increases. This is the called Hormesis principle. In this principle, IIT Mumbai have done some research and published a paper in Homeopathy 2017 that is called Metal Nanoparticle Induced Hormetic Activation, a novel mechanism of homeopathic medicines. In the same line, Dr. Papia Nandi also published a paper in 2021 in Journal of Homeopathy, Indian Journal of Homeopathy. And this is the active principle in potentized medicines and nanoparticle versus quantum domain. Next interesting work was published by Dr. E.S. Rajendram in International Journal of Current Research in 2017. That is Homeopathy, a Material Science, Nanoparticle Characterization of Aurum Metallicum 6C, 30C, 200C, 1000C, and 5000C, and 10,000C. So they also got good result. Now, why homeopathic research is needed for the students of pharmacy? Because homeopathic research remains a challenge because of broad sphere of variety. Because we all know that in the homeopathy system of medicine are prepared by plants, medicine are prepared by animals, medicine are prepared by sarcode, medicine are prepared by nosode, and medicine are prepared by X-rays and infodevela. So there is a very challenge to standardize these types of things. So homeopathic research remains a challenge because of the broad sphere and variety. So that I am requesting to young homeopaths ready to take the challenge for homeopathic research in order to proceed the right direction. Getting familiar with international research. For that purpose, I have shared you international research, what other scientists are doing, what I am doing. I will share all things so that all the students can understand and want to have keen desire to do research, because in homeopathy, very few persons are doing research. All the efforts of homeopathic research have to do towards the improvement of homeopathic medicine and acceptability and validity of homeopathic medicine. So in this connection, this is my book. You can refer for the ready reckoner of homeopathic medicine in various homeopathic pharmacopoeias. This is the very good book, Identification of Homeopathic Drugs of Plant Origin. You can read in this book, you find that how identification of plants can be doing. We can search in physically, microscopic, HPTLC, UV. We have to do all things, right? When we collect the plants, we have to perform heavy metal analysis and toxicological information. Like we have to do first, we have to do foreign matter. We all know that in homeopathic medicine, there are some adulteration is there to make the profit. Nowadays, what our company are doing, like you are purchasing Ravalpia serpentina, they are mixing Ravalpia tetraphylla. To avoid this problem, you have to think what we have to do. For that purpose, you have to follow the standards. What are you doing? First, you do foreign matter. You can collect the material and throw in the paper and you check what is the, because 2% is foreign matter is allowed. After that, you can reject the material. After that, you perform acid insoluble as, water insoluble as, extractive value. When you perform all things, you can understand that there is a genuine material or adulterated material. You can prove if material is genuine, then only you can prepare the medicine for better result. If you collect the plant material that is defective, adulterated, and you make a medicine and then you prescribe the patient, then you didn't get any good result, and patient say that homeopathy is not good. So when we
Sorry
try
to interrupt, Dr. Bineet, but your voice quality is very low and we are getting lots of messages in the chat box.
okay,
We can't hear you properly. Your voice is very low.
okay, I will increase my voice. Okay, no issue.
Yes, please.
Now I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please
So
go ahead.
you can refer my this book, and other I have published new research in analysis of phosphorus homeopathic tincture by validated HPLC method. We know that Coleus phosphorus is very good plants used in skin disorders. So for that we have published in book International Journal of Medicine Aromatic Plants. You can also refer this. A very good research was done by me in our lab with our colleague. This is a comparative standardization study of determination of result in Rauwolfia serpentina homeopathic mother tinctures manufactured by different pharmaceutical industry by using HPTLC. What we do, we prepare the Rauwolfia serpentina mother tincture in our lab. The material was supplied from UTI, the material was genuine, and we make a mother tincture. And we collect the some other mother tincture plants like various companies, and we can quantify the active compound in our material and market samples. And we found that some companies are not still using Rauwolfia serpentina because reserpine content is very less. So this is very good type of research done by me in our lab. And this is the recent book I have published in Homeopathic Day 2021. This is the HPTLC Atlas of Medicine Plant Drug used in homeopathy. In this book, 50 homeopathic plants are quantified and validated by the HPTLC. 50 plants, and that is used in homeopathic pharmacopoeia. What we do, we can make the standards for 50 drugs. You can see in this book. What we do, we perform mother tincture in our lab and take standards from Sigma and perform the HPTLC analysis, including the market samples. One sample is our laboratories and 2 or 3 samples from market sample. One is standards. We check what is the quality of the standards available in the market. If we got standards in all the samples, then we can say that material is good, mother tincture is good, which then that also show the pharmacological activity in the process. So this book is very useful. Recent publication was released in 2021 in homeopathy. This is the new book released by CCRH. You can free download and available at ccrhindia.nic.in. This is the scientific framework of homeopathy. Because the research is a very long process, because every person wants to do research in a specific area. So all research I can not explain, because my interesting area is medicinal plants. Some persons are metal and some other persons are animals. So when we jointly work, then we can explain, and everyone have to know what are they doing in other person. All research are doing in for the betterment of homeopathy. So this is very useful. You can download from ccrhindia.nic. This is the recent research in 2021 peer-reviewed homeopathy study spark approval in Italy. Because Italy, in this paper was published in journal Nature. And this we all know that Nature journal is the top journal in which the scientists saw the homeopathic shows very good result. So this is very good research article for the pharmacy student, for the researcher to encourage their self. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. for a wonderful session. In case of any queries or doubt, I request everyone to post their queries in the chat box, and sir is there. You can ask from them. Sir, there is a question.
Okay.
What is the progress in HPI volume 11 presently?
I think in year end you can purchase the HPI volume 11 because my work is over and other work is also over. Because the work is distributed in 3 places to save the time. One part is doing in our laboratory, one part in HPL, one part in DS Hyderabad. So we have sent all the information to headquarters for the compiling. Compilation work is going on. As soon as compilation is over, then proofreading, then publish. This is the process of publishing any article, any book in the publication house. So I think in the last, because due to Corona, it's late. Otherwise, it's published in the last year. Because 2013 volume 10 was published. Up to 7 years, no volume is coming. So now year end, you can get the HPI volume 11.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there is a one question. If we want to make any research, then how should we proceed further?
For doing any research, you have to do some literature review. You know what literature review means? You have to check, like we are in 2021. You have to check literature up to 2021. What other person do in the same area. Where some part is lacking, you pick that part. Understand? Suppose one scientist escape the standardization, then you do standardization. Otherwise, repetition is not work. So thoroughly, you have to perform literature survey. Then you can find out the topic where you want to research. Then you go ahead. This is the standard process for doing any research.
Okay. Is there any other query? You can please ask. Sir is here to reply. Kindly post your questions in the chat box. So there is a question. What are the details about Thuja for cancer patients?
Because we cannot disclose the result because this is our findings. But we can say that Thuja is very good. Thuja 200C potency is very good in cancer patient. In the research we found.
Okay. Any other query? If you want to ask, you can directly interact with sir. Okay, so I will request Dr. Shweta ma'am to please conclude the session. And thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful session. It was very informative. I hope everyone has learned enough from your experiences and will lead in, in the further research fields. Thank you, sir.
Before concluding this meeting, we have one more question for you, Dr. Vineet. As a clinical practitioner, can we do clinical research? This is from Dr. Madhusudan.
We are also in CCRH because my area is drug standardization. There's 5 areas: clinical research, drug proving. So there some person are also because in last slide I have shared one book. You can read and all information is there. because preclinical study is very necessary. Because when we got good result in preclinical, then we go for clinical research. Directly we can directly not go for the clinical research. Okay. First you perform preclinical, like in rat mice. If you got good result in preclinical result, then you go for clinical result.
Any more questions? So thank you, Dr. Vineet Kumar, for your precious presence and for giving such valuable time for to us. And it was really very informative. And we have with us our DHMA's General Secretary, Dr. Deepak Sharma, with us. So I request him to say a few words about today's session. Dr. Deepak, can you hear us? Okay, maybe there is some technical errors. Before that, we have with us Dr. Arkan sir from Sympathy. So I request him to say a few words about today's session.
Thank you, ma'am. डॉक्टर विनीत सर काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस्ड एंड सीनियर साइंटिस्ट हैं डॉक्टर डीपी रस्तोगी सेंट्रल रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट में, और जैसी हम लोगों की उम्मीद थी और जैसा हम लोगों ने होप किया था, और उसके हिसाब से उससे कहीं ज़्यादा हम लोगों को डिटेल किया नॉलेज अपने लेटेस्ट रिसर्च का। थोड़ा सा साउंड का लेकर के थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम था, लेकिन मोर और लेस हम लोगों ने उस चीज़ को समझने की कोशिश की और हम लोगों ने पूरी अच्छी तरीके से समझा, और लेटेस्ट रिसर्च में CCRH क्या कर रहा है उसके बारे में बहुत अच्छे तरीके से एलोबरेट किया आपने हमें। तो मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि सभी डॉक्टर्स जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो डॉक्टर विनीत सर के लेक्चर से काफ़ी फ्रूटफुल हुए होंगे, और आपका इस सेशन के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत थैंक यू कि आप इस सेशन को आपने अपना ऑफिशियल टाइम में से निकाल करके हम लोगों को समय दिया और आप अपने लेक्चर से इतने लोगों को आपने लाभान्वित किया। मैं थैंक यू कहना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर श्वेता सिंह को भी, जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है DHMA की। इन लोगों का कोऑपरेशन, DHMA का कोऑपरेशन सिंपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ हमेशा रहा है। रन फॉर होम्योपैथी हो या कोई इस तरह का वेबिनार्स जो हम लोग नेशनल लेवल पे करते हैं, उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर युधिष्ठिर सिंह हैं सर, जो प्रेसिडेंट हैं DHMA के, कल शायद आज भी हम लोगों के साथ हैं, तो उनका भी बहुत बहुत आभार कि हम लोगों का मनोबल इसी तरीके से बढ़ा के रखते हैं, और कोई भी काम हम लोग करते हैं तो उसमें काफ़ी बढ़ चढ़ कर हम लोगों का सहयोग करते हैं। डॉक्टर दीपक शर्मा सर, निश्चित रूप से ये कहने की बात नहीं है, आप सभी लोग जानते हैं कि कितना होम्योपैथी को लेकर के वो समर्पित रहते हैं, और ऐसे जो सब्जेक्ट हैं वो वैसे सब्जेक्ट पर काफ़ी बढ़ चढ़ करके हिस्सा लेते हैं। उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सिंपैथी की ओर से। आप सभी लोगों का एक बार दिल से आभार एज अ डायरेक्टर ऑफ सिंपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट, और DHMA की तरफ से मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं डॉक्टर श्वेता सिंह को मैं बोलूँ कि आप भी सभी लोगों का आभार व्यक्त करें, ताकि सभी लोग हम लोगों के साथ जुड़े रहें और इन फ्यूचर भी हम लोगों का साथ देते रहें, और ऐसे ही हम लोग टॉपिक लेकर के आएँ और उस टॉपिक में इन्वॉल्व होकर के सब लोग लाभ लें। प्लीज डॉक्टर श्वेता।
Thank you so much, sir. And yes, this was a really very informative session. And इसी तरह हमारी बहुत सारी सीरीज में जो और भी लेक्चर्स हैं वो भी बहुत ही informative होने वाले हैं, knowledgeable होने वाले हैं, and we have a lot more speakers जो हमारे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं. So I like to request all the viewers to give time and learn from this informative series. And I thank our precious or valuable speaker, Dr. Vineet, for his presence and for giving his time to us. And I sincerely thank Sympathy Institute for associating us with this webinar series on homeopathic pharmacy. And from the whole team of DHMA. And if we have Dr. Deepak with us, sir, are you there with us? So, sir, on behalf of the whole team of Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association, I thank Sympathy Institute, our speaker, Dr. Vineet, and to all the viewers. Stay connected to us for a lot more webinar series, and you can contact us at dhmadelhi@gmail.com, or can call us on 9711153617, or you can visit our website www.dhma.in for more information. And sir, can you tell us the contact details of Sympathy Institute?
Yeah, why not, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Our website address is sympathyinstitute.org, and all informations regarding courses will be there. And our number is 9968 009198.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
my personal number. You can contact me to any kind of inquiries about the homeopathic pharmacy course, and we will with you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this. And now we conclude this meeting and see you all next week on Friday for another informative session. Thank you so much all for joining us.
Thank you.
Sir, end kare. Thank you. Sir.